As women begin to step into the role of becoming an entrepreneur and a life coach in this second stage of learning, and they're becoming aware of what they don't know, now they're being asked to come into alignment with what they're learning. And this conversation happens where they go, is this my ego or is this my soul? I also see it come up in the idea of masculine and feminine. Am I being too masculine or too feminine? And this confusion about what that even means and trying to understand as they integrate what feminine leadership or feminine embodiment. And so, should I focus on family or building my business? Is this my ego or my soul? Am I being too masculine if I do this or too feminine? And so I wonder what you would say about this, Danielle, and if or how you relate to the masculine and feminine in building a successful life and business. And in the book, on this part of the book on page 81, you talk about befriending our ego as a step to befriending our whole self. Does that strategically relate to our desire to embody a feminine power? Or what would you just say to these women in this moment of conflict and discernment?
Wow, that's bringing two huge topics together.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, my whole point with that, what you're citing in the book, is that the ego isn't an awful thing. I mean, the ego in balance, like you have to have an ego. We have to have personalities. Some of us even have to have personas in order to get the job done. And our persona, it's like a spectrum. Our persona is really connected to who we are. It's like, it's woven. The problem is when your persona has nothing to do with your truth. It's like, I remember I went to Graceland to see, the Elvis once, and I saw some footage of him when he was younger, and I just thought, he's always been Elvis. Like, that persona of the king was him. It wasn't disconnected. He had other problems and overwork and got into the drugs, but so your persona is just this amplification of your truth. You can't go make something up. Okay, so ego. So when I'm on stage, I have a persona. I'm pretty much the same person I am in my kitchen, but I'm more dramatic. I get my point across. In the days when I was doing one-on-one strategy work, I never called it coaching. You have a persona. You say to somebody, are you in, are you not? So I'm okay with my ego. My ego serves a bigger picture. The times when it's not a good thing, too much ego prevents you from changing. And it prevents you from hearing things, and it prevents you from feeling hurt. So you can get negative feedback, and your ego will actually prevent you from being hurt by that feedback. If you're not hurt from criticism, something's wrong. So you can, that was unpleasant, and then you move on. But you can't deny how unpleasant those things are. Okay, the masculine and the feminine. This conversation, not this particular conversation, but this subject, I think that's I think you're on. I mean, obviously you're on because you can see this pattern happening in the women you're working with, where in stage 2, this comes up. Eventually it won't come up anymore because you're not going to care if it's masculine or feminine. So let me just jump to that. In stage 2, it's appropriate because you realize there are those two energies, and some of us are hyper masculine when really it's against our grain. We're actually deeply feminine. Some of us are trying to be too feminine when really we're predominantly masculine. Okay, eventually you don't care. Just like, this is what my heart wants. And the expression of this is what someone might label as feminine or someone might label as masculine. I would love to come up with new names for this. Because men need to become, we're living in a hyper-masculine society, and men need to adopt more of those classically feminine principles. So I would like to say, let's just say the feminine is inclusive and nurturing. Who doesn't want to be that? What being, male or female, doesn't want to be that? The masculine is really is directive and assertive. Who doesn't want to be that? I want to be that. Every woman I know probably needs to be more of that. Mm-hmm. I know. So, yeah, I would say when you're in that stage 2, should I be this? Should I be that? Just know that the next phase or a couple phases down is you're just going to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to become a confident and masterful life coach? Imagine feeling completely supported by a brilliant sisterhood while you launch your dream business and attain financial freedom. Mentor Masterclass is an all-in life coach training program for 40 women who are on a mission to learn from the best. You can join Mentor Masterclass at the beginning of any new month while spaces are available. Head on over to mentormasterclass.com to learn more about the training and apply now.